Surprise, motherfucker.
My name is Addi Azza. I am Engineer General at the Ministry of Energy and Mine, and I am very honored to represent Her Excellency Ms. Amina bin Khadra, Minister in charge of Mine, who apologized for not being able to be with us today. So, first of all, I would like to thank very much the Emirates of Dubai and Trappin for organizing this meeting. This Congress is being held in a particular context where minerals are experiencing upflow. Indeed, the world is engaging into deep mutation that necessitates radical transformation of the world systems governing finance, economic, and social activities. New governance is needed to realize sustainable development that conciliates responsible growth, equitable share of wealth to eradicate poverty, and preservation of environment. Mineral secure supply, availability, accessibility, and rational use will be the core driver of this transformation because it is the very heart of society development. Morocco, as a key player in the sector, has the same concern while embarking in a new era of sustainable economic and social development with a global and integrated strategic vision encompassing all key sectors. I am sure that our meeting will give us fresh impulse to our mutual cooperation in mining exploration and development. Now, please allow me to highlight some of the main fundamental bases Morocco is defining to ensure its transition towards sustainable development in the framework of a global New Deal. Located at the north of Africa, at 15 kilometers from Spain, Morocco is one of the great Maghreb countries. The geographical location of Morocco makes a bridge between Europe and Africa. Morocco is located at the intersection of the Mediterranean Sea to the north and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. It has 3,005 kilometers of coast in both sides. Although its location near Europe, its geography offers a multitude of contrasts and reliefs. The geography of Morocco is variable. In the north, we have the Rif Mountains, in the central region, the Atlas, and in the south, the Sahara with the dunes. So, Morocco offers a change of scenery to its visitors who can access to the mountains, beaches, Sahara dunes, and the major urban center in the same day. About infrastructures, as you can see on the slide, Morocco has world-class basic infrastructure, one of the best road network in Africa, a good railway network, 11 commercial ports, and 12 international airports. Morocco is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system of government. The king is head of the state. His Majesty Mohammed VI has led the country since July 30, 1999. The government is headed by a prime minister appointed by the king. Legislative power is vested in a bicameral parliament, which consists of a House of Representatives and House of Councillors. In this slide, you can see the evolution of the process since 1998. The accelerated process of democratization creates social cohesion through human rights, the revision of family code, strengthening women's rights, the National Initiative for Human Development, aiming to reduce poverty and establish balanced development among regions. The new constitution, adopted by a referendum on July this year, reinforces the democratization of Morocco by devoting in particular the principle of separation of powers, independence of justice, and government accountability to parliament. Morocco has a stable social political environment. It's also the significant potential market of 32 million of inhabitants, growing at a pace of more than 450,000 per year. Morocco has liberalized its economy since the 80s and implemented a series of reforms and financial restructuring programs. Finally, Morocco has registered a high growth rate, about 5% over the last 5 years. 6% growth is expected for the next 5 years, despite global economic crisis. Morocco is a country in development in all sectors: tourism, agriculture, textile, car industry, aeronautical and IT, electronics, offshoring, manufacturing, with strategic vision for short, medium, and long terms. Indeed, Morocco is undertaking deep transformation in all its economic sector and social behaviors to embark in a sustainable development resolution that will conciliate economic growth, equitable share of aid, environment preservation, and climate change mitigation. Since 2008, all key sectors have adopted integrated development strategies with clear vision on the necessity of preserving environment. Their implementation will be based on the principle of rationalizing resources utilization, shifting to clean carbon technology in industrial process, energy and water efficiency, and saving in all their uses, abiding by greenhouse gas emission limitation regulation. It's a real new development concept which will conduct Morocco in the few next decades to become a developed and modern country, respecting sustainable development paradigm. In this regard, Morocco is strongly engaged in environment preservation as a national and international commitment. For example, today, only in lead gasoline and 50 ppm gas oil are marketed in Morocco. Morocco is also reinforcing its institutional framework with the enactment of major laws dealing with environment, the establishment of technical standards for energy devices, for quality of liquids, gas use, and solid waste. Several laws are also in preparation: the energy efficiency law, the renewable energy law, the coastal protection law, and others. Since prehistoric times, the rich mineral resources of Morocco have attracted many explorers, such as Phoenicians, the Romans, and Portuguese. Tens of ancient mines are produced silver, copper, iron, tin, lead, zinc, antimony, gold, salt, and other industrial materials. Some of these mines have been reopened and mining today. Morocco was one of the first countries to regulate its mining sector, and the first mining code in modern sense was introduced in 1930. Thanks to its position between Alpine Europe and Precambrian Africa, Morocco presents a rich and diversified geology. Structurally, Morocco can be divided into 3 domains: the Reef, the Atlas, and the Anti-Atlas, and the Sahara. From the north to the south, the Reef domain with Alpine mountain ranges. The second one is the Atlas domain and the Meseta with Epivarescan platform, Mesozoic and Cainozoic cover, known for phosphate rocks. The third one, in the south, is the Sahara and Anti-Atlas domain, with Archean in the south and Southeast Proterozoic and Paleozoic in north. And what about our geological infrastructure? Until 1996, the Geological Survey of Morocco was making geological maps at a rate about 3 to 4 cards per year. Sure, Morocco was mapped at 1 to 1 million scale, and the north of the country was mapped at 1 to 500,000 and 1 to 200,000 scales since the middle of the last century. But mining activities need more accurate maps. So, in 1997, we launched an extensive program of geological mapping to meet the needs of the mining sector. The goal of the National Plan for Geological Mapping, PNCG, is to produce geological and geophysical and geochemical maps that can help exploration and mining research. As you can see in the slide, almost of the areas considered favorable for mining research were mapped at 1 to 100,000 or 1 to 50,000 scale. About geophysical infrastructure, we opted for airborne methods, aeromagnetism, radiometric, and aeromagnetic. We selected the areas known for their geological potential and mining interest. In this way, all Proterozoic and Paleozoic formations were mapped. Ladies and gentlemen, now please allow me to give you some information about Moroccan mining sector. This slide, you can see our deposits map of Morocco, and you can know and you will see that Morocco is a very rich mining country. Morocco is known for phosphates, which it holds more than 15% of the world's exportable reserves. But it's also producer of minerals, such as lead, zinc, copper, manganese, cobalt, gold and silver, barite, fluorite, and bentonite, etc. Some key figures for the last year. The mining sector is produced 6% of our GDP, more than 80% of the country's total exports. We are the third producer and first exporter of phosphates under all forms. Our production is about 26.6 million tons of phosphate, near 4 million tons of phosphoric acid, and 101 tons of purified phosphoric acid. About market shares in international, 37% for phosphate, 50% for phosphoric acid, and 16% for fertilizers. Morocco is also, as I saw, producer of lead, zinc, copper, silver, gold, barite, cobalt, fluorite, salt, clays, and bentonite. Our ranking in Africa countries. This slide, we can show the position of Morocco for several products. And as we can see, in addition to phosphates, which I had already spoken, Morocco occupies the first rank and a very honorable position for the majority of these mining products. I am limited to key products, but you know that with geology as diverse as we saw, Morocco produces also, obviously, other minerals, and I invite you to discover them by visiting our stand in the first, waiting to see you soon in Morocco. On this slide, you have repartition of investment in mining sector that it's about $503 million for last year, or $3 billion US last 6 years. The current mining legislation in Morocco is based on the mining law and is enforced through executive orders and the Directorate of Mines. In Morocco, mining, except for phosphate, can be carried out by any individual or corporate entity, regardless for their nationality. The current regulatory framework is mineral substances are the property of the state and classified in 8 categories. Mining is regarded as a commercial activity and is governed by the principle of free enterprise. The right to work or mine is generally obtained on a first-come, first-served basis for all mineral substances, with the exception of phosphate, which remain a state monopoly. About the regulation, the first permit granted is the research license. It's a square with 4 kilometers side. It's valid for an initial period of 3 years. It's renewable for another 4 years. It gives the holder the right to explore and to determine the presence of one of the classified substances. If workable deposits are discovered, the license is changed into a mining permit. The permit entitles the holder to mine substances of the category for which it is granted. It's valid for an initial period of 4 years, renewable for 3 periods for 4 years each, with the possibility of a special extension beyond this period for up to 12 years. Now, our mining legislation and regulation are under reform. Why Morocco? For me, as a mining geologist, I have 4 or 5 reasons when I speak about mining in Morocco. First advantage, it's a competitive and dynamic human resource in Morocco. Second one, it's our attractive geology. Third, the economy largely liberalized. Fourth, the incentives like duty and tax exemption on imported equipment. And the last but not least, the political stability in Morocco. So, for the future, what are the major projects in public sectors? About phosphate, an investment program estimated at 70 billion dirhams by 2020, of which 29 billion for mines, was production should increase from 28 to 55 million of tons on phosphate per year. 15 billion in the chemical process, 13 billion in geophosphate hub. The site of geophosphate is now equipped to accommodate as 10 industrial units. For other substances, the major projects undertaken by mines operators are developing the capacity and preparation of new projects for diversification of resources and improving the value of substance produced. This last year, we marked by the extension of a mine of emitter, silver, completion of the first study from copper, continuing research and developing for development of gold prospects. Other projects of international development has also been made and focused on Bakoudou Gold Project in Gabon, the proposed construction of furnaces for production of alloys of cobalt in Democratic Republic of Congo, Pompey Project in the Democratic Republic of Congo, exploration and exploitation of uranium mine in Mauritania, and mining research in Ivory Coast in partnership with OCID France. The mine operators, as well as ONIM, the Office of Mines and Hydrocarbons, Moroccan Office of Mines and Hydrocarbons, OCP, and private operators have made a significant effort in research for a renewal of mineral reserves of operating mines and the research of new deposits. This slide shows the prospects developed by ONIM, and you can see they cover as well as precious metals, base metals, or industrial rocks. Details of each prospect that ONIM wants to develop in partnership with investors are available at the State of Morocco. For development of its mining sector, Morocco is undertaking the development of a new strategy based on development of geological infrastructure, carrying out the mining research and exploration, attract international investors and increase the local contribution, development of the mining production and valorization capacity, strengthen the mining promotion, and the readjustment of the current mining law. Sure, the current mining legislation offers attractive conditions, but it will be reviewed for more competitiveness. The aim is to ensure sustainable development of mining industry by giving it a modern legal framework. Main principles of this new project are the establishment of an exploration license to explore large areas, institution of the small-scale mine license, and the subsequent control of expenditure on research. It's undeniable that the implementation of such measures is likely attractive to revitalize the mining exploration and research in order to identify new resources and attract new investors. Thank you.